Now that you've acquired a subscriber, what do you do with them to keep them coming back? Hi, I'm Matt Holman, the Subscription Doc, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the types of things you need to be doing to keep subscribers subscribed. We're going to be talking about post-purchase experience. So in previous videos, we've talked around crafting an offer, website purchase experiences, types of data you should be paying attention to. But in this video, we're going to be assuming that somebody has purchased from you, they're a subscriber. What do you do? One of the biggest opportunities I see within this space is getting better at people using your product right away, finding quick wins, establishing authority right away. What normally happens with a lot of purchases, if you think about your own desk table right now, you have a lot of stuff maybe that you or your significant other have bought in the past, and some of it's going to get used and some of it isn't. That's just the way that it is, right? And subscriptions are no different. There's a lot of things competing for not just wallet share, but attention, right? If we're talking about different supplements somebody's buying, they might make a habit of one and not of another. Happens all the time. So our primary goal with post-purchase experience initially is all about getting somebody to believe in the product and start using the product so that they'll start using the product more and more and more. And the more they use the product, the more people renew from you, the longer they stay your subscriber. So a couple of ways to start with this is by first building out a welcome email series for subscribers. Some of the mistakes I see brands making in this is that they talk only about themselves. Hey, our brand is so great. You're just going to be so happy. We're the best thing that's ever happened to you. Okay. That can have its place within a sequence, but most of the time people are more interested in a couple of things right away. One, they want to know when their product is going to show up, which should be tracking emails and stuff that you're sending separately from this as a welcome series. So you want to send an order confirmation email, and then anytime there's an update, that happens separately. But the first email I like seeing sent to subscribers is an introduction to what you've purchased. Hey, you're a subscriber. This is what it means to be a subscriber. It means that your product is on the way. Anytime you want to make a change to your order, you can log into our portal right here and you have full control over that subscription. A subscription unlocks certain types of discounts, perks, content, all those types of things. That should be one of your first touch points, is letting somebody know you've got a subscription, this is how you manage it, and here's all the perks that you're getting. Remind somebody of why they're so smart for having made a purchase from you in the first place. The next sets of things can be done in a variety of different orders or sequences, but I like seeing a lot of other emails that are related to talking about use cases, right? Success stories. So if you're selling like a weight loss supplement, you're going to show them UGC or user-generated content success stories. Hey, I started using this to transform my body. I started using this to help this out. Those types of things to try to reinforce the value that's coming there. If you have a product that's not necessarily easy to use or intuitively like you take one pill a day, maybe it's like a scoop or it's like coffee or it's pet food, there's a varying degree of how people are going to be using, you could include guides on how much you should use or take. Like if you're selling pre-workout or post-workout, you could talk about, hey, in our experience, our product works best this amount mixed with this. If you're selling some type of food or beverage, you could be sharing examples of recipes that people have used to combine your product to make something tasty or delicious. The whole idea, again, is trying to help them understand how to use the product, be it fun, be it educational. You can do all of those things as well. Most brands don't send very many emails, but you'll see a lot of the great brands actually send a long sequence of 7, 8, 9, 10 emails right after a purchase, day after day, because they're trying to reinforce that product and that product consumption to their new subscribers. I would say too, that's your biggest opportunity. That's kind of like that honeymoon phase, that first 7 to 10 days, somebody maybe is about to get their product for the first time or hasn't yet quite gotten it. So you have this opportunity to keep drumming up excitement, keep reinforcing it. The next touch point along this post-purchase experience journey is the unboxing, right? Again, if you're selling a product that has potential recipes associated with it or needs instructions, this is something that we like paying attention to in the retention process when we're looking at cancellation reasons. Are people canceling because they have too much product? They never used the product? They weren't sure how to use the product? Again, I would point out that a lot of times when people say they have too much product, it's because they never used the product in the first place. They kept thinking they were going to, and they never did. So we're trying to create some kind of win right away, whether that's, again, education, making exciting, something like that. An example of a brand that does this incredibly well is actually a supplement that I started taking last year from a brand called Extreme Endurance. Now, one of the things that I love about Extreme Endurance is it's a supplement that you take that's guaranteed to make you feel faster, stronger. They sell to CrossFitters, triathletes, all kind of stuff. One of the things that they do right away is getting you to pay attention to a supplement that, if you think about it, like protein powder, other stuff, you might not notice it in the short term that you're taking it. But Extreme Endurance is going to bet that, hey, is your long run on Sunday? Go take your long run. Monday morning, start taking Extreme Endurance. Take it every day. And then next Sunday, when you go do your long run again, pay attention to the difference. They're telling you right away to A/B test their product against your current training schedule, and that they guarantee that you'll see a difference. And I can tell you as a user, when that happened to me, I was blown away noticing how better I felt just having taken that product for a year. And I'm still talking about it to you this day. It's still a product that I use, and it's a product I recommend to everybody. In fact, a lot of times people don't believe me how good it is as a product. Being able to show that authority is a great way to creating a lifetime subscriber. So when we're talking unboxing, you can create inserts, cards, things like that. Again, a lot of brands like talking so much about themselves. I would pull back from that a little bit and talk more about the product and the potential usage or use case of the product. If it's, say, matcha tea, it's walking through how to create the best cup of matcha tea. And then on the backside, maybe it's a QR code to more recipes or joining our community or something like that. You have tons of opportunities to email people, to mail people, to get them to buy more or learn more about your brand. But this initial touch point of using your product is so critical and has the strongest impact on long-term retention, other than maybe anything outside of the offer as part of a subscription experience. I would say when we're talking inserts or emails, we're also thinking about anything that's unique or compelling about your product. Do you have a really interesting founder story about what they went through and research and what they did to develop that product? That can be great content as well, because it allows people to feel like the brand is a human, and that they can identify with that problem. Like gluten is a great example. If someone has gluten sensitivity, hearing a story about how a founder developed a gluten-free cake can mean a lot to that person who's been searching for good tasting gluten products throughout their life, as an example. It's also a great place to introduce content. If you have like a workout series or recipes or other things that go along with your brand and this product, you can include them in emails and also as part of the unboxing experience. I would say, again, stressing that the unboxing experience should really be geared towards getting somebody to adopt and use the product successfully as quickly as possible. Now, another example that we get within additional touch points are upcoming order emails. So whether you're in the state of California, where it's now law to note that people have to be notified they're on a subscription, or it's just general best practice for you to be able to let somebody know that their credit card is about to get hit, I would highly suggest you keep sending those emails. I'll address some of the reasons why people don't in just a moment. Most of the time, this is a transactional email, right? Something the system just automates. Hey, so-and-so, your credit card's about to process for $48 on da-da-da-da-da, right? But it's possible to customize these just a little bit. Remind people why they subscribed in the first place. If we're talking this protein powder or gluten-free bread, we're mentioning like, hey, remember our unique whey delivery system, or your summer body, or the protein your muscles crave is on the way, right? The best tasting gluten-free bread on the planet is coming for you. Or like, hey, don't forget the avocado toast next week because you're going to be getting your gluten-free bread to go with it. Just spending a little bit of time like beefing that up just a little bit, making it on brand. You can make it fun. I mentioned I Heart Dogs in another video. One of the things that I love, again, about their brand is they're donating a portion of the sale to feeding shelter pets. So they're putting into the email how many shelter pets your upcoming order is set to feed. They're reinforcing their brand premise and one of the reasons that you ordered from them at that touch point. So that's an opportunity to reinforce why somebody should be excited about their subscription being on the way. It's also a good place to, below that information, mention if they need to make any changes or adjust their schedule, that it's all within their control and they can log in or click here to make those changes. Now, there are two schools of thought on these upcoming order emails. Some people actually have them turned off and they don't like sending them because they're seeing a uptick in churn whenever the emails go out, which makes sense. People are being reminded that they have a subscription, so some of those people are going to remember that they actually want to cancel. And while it's easy to get scared by that and not wanting that to have happen, do you want to run a subscription brand where you're concerned that if people hear from you, they're going to cancel? It should be looked at as an opportunity to engage with them, to let them know they're getting something that they paid for. And again, I would highly recommend you look at ways to making that upcoming order email a little bit beefier, a little bit more on brand, reminding people of the value in the subscription before you worry about turning those types of things off. Another thing you can do post-purchase is looking at personalization. So when we talk about in previous video around purchase experiences, and we're thinking about quizzes and information that people are telling us, it's actually really easy within Klaviyo and MailChimp and these other email service providers like SendLane that you can tag people based off of information that you've gotten off quizzes, right? If you're selling a pet food brand, you can ask somebody the name of their pet as part of this experience. And then you can put that name of the pet into the email, letting them know, hey, Fido's pet food is on the way, right? Or, hey, Dad, keep that dad bod at bay with our protein powder on the way to you. You can personalize them a little bit better that way. You can also personalize offers based on what they've purchased from you in the past, lifetime value, the amount of money that they spent with you. You can personalize those things as well. So somebody who spent a lot of money, you can make a more compelling offer, or when you know what types of products they bought from you, you can offer them supplementary products. One of the simplest wins that I do when I audit any subscription program is I look for top performing products, say the top 3 or top 4 top performing products. And then I like to look to see which of those products are bought together the most frequently. So if you have 2 products that are bought together the most frequently, I'm going to take product A and market to anybody that's bought product B. And I'm going to take product B and market to anybody that's bought product A, because I already know that there's a lot of people that buy A and B together already. Also, you just take those top 3 or 4 products and just build email flows around them for anybody who's in your subscriber base. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about is a typical play within a lot of e-commerce brands is they don't market that much to their subscribers. Again, worried about the more emails I send to them, they're going to remember they have a subscription, they're going to cancel. Now, this is a fine line. This is something that I want you to start thinking about if you're not doing it already. But don't you think that subscribers are more likely to be receptive to your emails than people that are not? People that are buying from you. Yes, if I have 100 subscribers and if sending a few extra emails every week or every month means that my churn goes from 10% a month to 12% a month, that can be bad. But can I get that remaining 88% subscribers to buy a little bit more from me? If you recall from the data video that we did where we talked about the 3 different levers we can use to pull when we're talking about the amount of subscribers, how long they stick around, and what they're buying from us. Marketing subscribers is the increasing the amount of value we get per subscriber. So while that action may decrease the total number of subscribers or the amount of time that they stick on, as a group, we can raise the average order value for that cohort of subscribers if we market effectively. So we also have an option there to think through offers or specials. One of the great places to start here is just to be thinking through surveying some of these subscribers. And you can trigger these so that you don't have to send them to people that are in the first couple of months. I also would recommend that if we're thinking through upsell opportunities, that we start at months 2 or month 3 so that people have an opportunity to be on the subscription for a few months before they start seeing upsell offers from you, because otherwise it feels very salesy, or they're more likely just to be reminded, nah, I don't need this. Yep. So again, one of the places you can start with is actually using surveys. For all your subscribers when they hit 6 months, ask them some of the things that they like most about your product, some of the things they'd like to see that are new. Some of the best brands out there are using subscribers to launch new products into. They're essentially a pre-sale audience that's warm and ready for you. If you're a skincare brand and you're looking at launching new products, you already have a large segment of users that are subscribed to your product that you can test with to see if they're interested and are wanting to buy that product from you. Again, this does take a little bit of nuance, but it's not rocket science. Do not overcomplicate this thinking, I can't send emails to my subscribers, or I have to be really careful about the timing around these emails. I would like you to start testing some of these around your more steady, stable subscriber groups to see what more information you can get for them. Or at the worst, call them, talk to them, get feedback directly from them so that you know what products or services you can offer. It's a great opportunity to look at where you can expand your business. Okay, one of the final things I'd like to talk about is creating hype around your subscription. So there are different ways that you can create hype around the order. I mentioned some of those upcoming order notifications. There's content if you have social media or if you have ads that are going. One of the things that I love from a brand that I've mentioned at this first video is called BattleBox. And John Roman, one of the things that they do, they're sending outdoor adventure gear to people, is within every shipment, they try to send a video between the time the order processes and the time the shipment arrives. They're trying to time an email so that people will get an unboxing video so they can see what they're getting. They get really excited about the different products they're getting. And depending on what tier you're on, you also see like the premium box. So it's also a great incentive for people to potentially upgrade because they see what's in the premium box. So that's one way to create hype. Thinking through content, thinking through ways to advertise that to people. Crunch Labs, which has a kids science, discovery, and engineering box, has a special going right now where they're sending a platinum ticket, where every month they're choosing a winner out of that subscription that gets to come out to the Crunch Labs studios, gets to meet and play with all those toys and engineers and all those, the stars of that YouTube series with Mark Rober. That's one way that they drive up excitement for that, right? It's also a great experience. Crunch Labs is focused so much on the product that the kids are excited when it shows up. They want to unbox it and get to it right away. So thinking through that experience, what are ways that I can drive up a little bit more hype, that I can get people a little bit more excited, that I can get people that instead of going, I got to remember to cancel that, they can be thinking, oh yeah, that's going to show up next week. I'm excited for that. That's a final piece to think about when we're getting into post-purchase experiences. And then the final piece of all of this is kind of unpacking something. They're all different. They overlap within an e-commerce experience. And that's the idea of loyalty, memberships, or subscriptions. So loyalty, for many of you that may be aware, is something kind of typical, like you're earning points on your birthday, or depending on the purchases you make, you get a certain number of points that you can redeem for purchases, gifts, special unlocks, things like that. A great loyalty program is a Roxbury Juice Club. I have one of those. Basically, every time I go there with my kids, we get a punch card, a virtual punch card stamped. We get free ones when we get to them. Also, being a member means a loyalty member, I get text messages whenever they're running BOGO specials or other things like that. It's actually one of the few loyalty programs that I pay attention to because my kids and I, and my wife, we all love smoothies so much. When it happens, we try to make a point to go out of our way to get a Roxbury smoothie. Memberships are a little bit different. Memberships are something where somebody typically pays for access. So you could think of this somewhat like your Amazon or like a movie club, where say you're paying $15 a month to get access to a free movie ticket, 20% off concessions. There's other perks or benefits that come with this type of membership. What's interesting about membership offerings is people are paying you for the access. There's something special here. Loyalty is free, something people just sign up for, and it's another opportunity for you to kind of like engage with people and try to get some points, trying to spur some extra purchases. Membership is about more access. It's about paying for perks, whether you're doing cash back or something like that. And subscriptions is what we've been talking about all along. It could be a little complex when we're trying to fit all these different pieces together. Do I give loyalty points on a subscription? Do I have a membership for a different tier of subscription? And so without necessarily unpacking all of that complexity, I would like you to be thinking about a couple of things that we mentioned in the initial video and the big opportunity, again, for having a subscription brand, and that is engagement, okay? So I'm going to tell you a story about a brand called Carnivore Snacks. Carnivore Snacks started out as a paleo alternative snack product. It's essentially just meat and salt. It's very simple. It's tasty, almost like beef jerky, except it's not made the same way. It's fresh. It melts in your mouth. As they were launching their products, they were finding a lot of people that are interested, that were subscribing. They had a certain set of SKUs of different product lines that were hard to make at scale. Okay, so say if they have 10,000 customers on average in a month, they had something that they could only sell 1,000 of, as an example. So what Carnivore Snacks did is they launched a membership platform on top of just the subscription. And the membership meant you paid money for access, but you got 5% off on all purchases on the site, and you got access to these premium limited run product lines. The beauty of this is Carnivore Snacks was able to capture additional revenue by doing it this way, but they're also able to guarantee that a subset of their customers that really, really cared about their brand and their products were happier. They spent more with them. People that were regularly buying the additional products, that were using the cash back to buy more. Now, they found a 3 times difference for somebody that was a subscriber and a member than somebody that was just a subscriber. And the 3-time difference is related to LTV. So somebody on average on a subscription said they spent $500 in a given year. The average member plus subscriber was spending $1,500 in a given year. And the reason it worked is because they were paying attention to what people wanted. They took a little bit of restriction within their own product, and they started to charge for access. So thinking about engagement, what can you do that's a little bit premium? If you're selling a service, right? If you're selling information, there's a lot of people that are going to find that really valuable. But out of that group, who's going to find a little bit more value out of a premium level of service, right? If you are selling like this Flouse product, maybe they launch a premium Flouse that costs a little bit more. Or you do coaching on top of a video series that costs just a little bit more to subscribe to. Thinking through ways you can create greater engagement, deliver better value, that people are going to be willing to pay for more, is how you should be thinking about how to craft these different pieces of like loyalty, subscriptions, and membership. Okay, as a final takeaway for post-purchase experiences, I want you to just really think about 2 things primarily. The first is writing a better welcome email series where you have more content, more information, and more ways to try to demonstrate how to use the product or get value out of the product right away. And the second thing is related to your unboxing experience. We're trying to do the same thing. Look for ways that you can get people to find wins with the product right away, or wins with the product whenever that shipment arrives, because that's going to be one of the strongest indicators and guarantees of successful retention over time. Everything else we've talked about are potential upsells and increasing your average order values. Those are things to do later on in the life cycle of a subscription. But for now, I want you to focus on improving the adoption of your products through email and unboxing. Okay, that's it for this video. The next one is our final video where we talk about retention, churn, and tying the whole piece of all this subscription knowledge together.